Today I have a business specialist.
Previously, my concept of success and growth was officers, people, If I stick to those ideologies, then I'm going to sink. There came a point when I found that life was too comfortable, and comfort zone is a very dangerous place to be.
Yes. So why do you think most people don't make it?
What is entrepreneurship at the end of the day? It's an experiment. And somebody's deciding that if I give A to B, there will be a C. It's a very complex equation. If any variable goes wrong, the business will fail. I tell my people that don't look at the people who are extremely successful because their story has got a lot of miracles in it. Many things went just right. We take them as role models and we follow them. There's a very high chance that our rocket may not reach there. So we have to always focus on the averages. How does the average entrepreneur goes? That's one thing that these people make mistake. They have the planning wrong, and when the planning is wrong, that idea is dead from the beginning itself. Many fail that way. When you really thought something will work and it didn't work, so now what to do?
Gladiators, welcome back. Today I have a business specialist, a gladiator in Ameen Ahsan. Pronounced beautifully, right?
Yeah.
Forever. Welcome, Ameen.
Thank you.
A lot of my podcast is personal stuff and motivational stuff. Now, you specialize in fixing businesses. Small to medium-sized businesses, and that's my playing field is. So, if you don't mind, I'd like to hear a little bit of your history, your journey. What are you doing right now? And we talk about businesses, like what are the biggest hurdles they have, what are the challenges they face. If you don't mind, would that be okay?
Yeah, that'll be great.
Great. So, tell me about your journey. What brings you to Dubai?
Well, the thing is that I was in UAE from my childhood. I had my schooling here.
Were you born here?
Yeah, no, I was not born here. My mother, when she was pregnant and about to deliver, she went back home, delivered there, and came back. So till 8th grade, I was here. We live in Alain. That's the place where we have our relatives, our businesses, and everything. Even now, I live in Alain.
You drove all the way from Alain to here this morning?
Yeah.
Thank you.
But I think that's much more comfortable than traveling from one part of Dubai to the Dubai itself.
True.
The peace of mind that you get in Alain is awesome. I mean, I would say wherever you are, when it comes to sleeping, you have to be in Alain.
Yes. I believe all the kind of rulers all came from Alain, right? Is it green?
Yeah, it's very green. It's a very beautiful place. And it's a place of the royalty, because like where I stay, on the other Shabia, you have the ruling family's grandparents, or the other side,
and they're still living there?
That I don't know, but they definitely have their families there. Because I think they are in Abu Dhabi right now when it comes to ruling.
So when you go shopping, you could be next to the Nahyans or the Maktoums and stuff.
Quite possibly.
Amazing. So you got to be nice to everyone.
But then people of Alain are very nice to everyone, just like everybody else in Emirates.
Sure.
That's one beautiful thing about this country, which ultimately brings it all the business that it gets. I mean, it's one country that actually shows that being nice actually, is profitable business.
Very true. Tell me about your journey. So you went, you were here till a young age, then you went home, and then you came back again. What brought you back?
Well, after my 8th, I went to India, and I was in a boarding school for 4 years. And after that, I went to Manipal, which is another place in India, and where I did my degree in business management. And after that, I came back to UAE, joined my family business for a year. And then I went to UK to do my master's in finance and investment from Exeter University. That was in 2001. Then I came back, and then I wanted to go back to India because the UAE at that time and the India at that time was kind of different. And since I had my college days and everything in India, India was far more exciting and adventurous in a way, so that, I wanted to be there. And so I went back to India, and I was planning to start a different kind of business. My desire has always been to be in investment banking or form investment company and stuff like that. And that was one of the reasons why I actually took a master's in finance investment. And when I came back to India, me and two of my friends, we found an idea of an accounting firm, outsourced accounting firm, which was a pretty new concept at that time, because we are talking about 2001, almost 22 years ago. And we thought that was a great idea. And we pitched that idea to a big entrepreneur there, who's actually a big entrepreneur here as well. And the idea was that we could get his work so that, he could be our first client. But he heard a whole story and he said, I'm not interested in that, but I would like to start a newspaper press, And newspaper press is kind of like,
Totally random. Nothing to do with what you're doing.
exactly. And it's a very, it's a different project. It's political in a way. It's influential in a way. Not everybody starts it, So I was like, kind of like, this is not what we went for, right? So we came back home and we thought like, we'll drop it. Like, we never thought of doing that. But the person who actually introduced us to this guy, he is also a very influential person in my place and is someone you cannot say no to. So he said, no, this guy asked you to do that, you have to do it. So for him, we did the project report or the business plan for it. And he liked it. And his chartered accountant, who was quite skeptical in the beginning, he also liked it. So then me and my friend thought like, this is interesting. And this is new because you didn't have a company in Kerala, where I'm from,
Yes.
Which was actually providing this at a preference scale some 20 years back. So we got into it. That's how we are actually getting into the business of making project reports, business plans and stuff like that. And for 1 year we operated there. And there was an interesting time, like once we prepared a brochure. When I say all these things, you should see it as a 20-year-old story. I mean, so many things might look quite, flimsy right now. But at that time, it was
high-tech stuff.
Yeah. So we invested into a brochure, which was well designed by that time standard. And we sent it to a leading company by post. And one rainy morning, I had a call from its director. And he said that, I got your post. I read it. It's interesting. I read it 17 times. I was like, what? 17 times? We should meet. So that was the kind of thing that we were doing there. And after 1 year,
yes,
my partner's wife got a good job in Kuwait. And I was also free. So we thought, okay, then we'll just wind up and we'll go our ways. And then I came back to UAE. And
can I ask you, how did the magazine do? The newspaper the gentleman wants to open? Did he start it?
Which one?
The newspaper, you said the gentleman wants to open.
Yeah, he started it.
And is he still going?
No, our recommendation was not to start. But it had issues and it didn't.
Publications are hard things, especially now we're going digital.
Exactly.
Right.
I remember when I told him, like, when we had to give him the no as the answer, it was very hard because it's your first report and he's a big guy and you are telling him, it's not a good idea.
Yeah. So he didn't listen to you?
No, he very politely said that that's your recommendation, but the choice is mine. But
how long did he go for?
I think it went for a couple of years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it did go for a couple of years.
Yeah, we can do. If you've got deep pockets, you just throw money at it, right?
Yeah.
The business needs to be profitable.
Years. And a couple of years later, I met him and he said, when I introduced myself to him, like, you remember me? He said, yeah, it happened as you said. So it's
wow, amazing.
I mean, it's a good and it's a bad thing because ultimately it had a bad ending.
Yeah, but you were right. So.
Yeah. So,
come back.
So then I came back to UAE and I got a job in a strategy consulting firm in Abu Dhabi. It was owned by a German and American. And that was technically my first professional experience in a consulting. The previous one, I was inventing things, Now I had exposure to work with some of the best people who graduated from some of the best universities like Harvard, Kellogg, and people with 10, 20, 30, 40 years of experiences. And I was a junior among them. So I had the ability to learn from everyone. And after that, I became a strategy advisor to a CEO in a Dubai-based company. And after that, I left back to India again because life in Dubai was not very exciting. I mean, like the life, not the work part, the life part was not very exciting. I'm the kind of guy who likes a personal life to be very soft and calm,
Do you have family? Wife, kids?
Yeah, I have a wife and a daughter.
Oh, so every time you go back, they follow you or they're back home? They stay home?
They follow me.
Wow. Okay.
I went back to India. I was there for almost one and a half years in Goa. I think you must have heard of
beautiful,
Goa.
Yeah, I've been.
Goa was beautiful, so I thought I'll stay there for some time. But then I finally came back to my hometown, which is Kerala, home state, which is Kerala, and been there for all this time.
Now, but you're here in Dubai now, right? You're
Yeah.
establishing both. You
I have a firm there. I have team there. They're still working there.
Okay.
It's just me who has come here.
So can I ask you, hand on heart, and we're not going to mention names or firms, was there a big difference between the guys who went to Harvard and all this and what you were doing?
I think it's more about the kind of exposure that they get.
So it opens doors.
It does open doors. Yeah.
To me, business is simple, okay? You sell goods, you add value, and in return you get paid, right? And you continue to add value and you continue to get paid. You exceed expectations. And along the way, you watch your costs. And you monitor this daily. You've got to need your numbers. But the moment I fear we give it to consultants, not your or me type of consultants, with high degrees and so forth, they just waffle and waffle and waffle, and the price goes up and up and up. That's my perception. And I find that most companies rather go ahead with them because a decision maker won't lose his job if he's gone with somebody from Harvard.
I think you just opened several lot of topics. I mean, I don't know from which I should start.
Any way you like.
I think it fundamentally comes down to understanding the right expectations from different. Many a times people, I feel, this is my personal opinion, is that we confuse management education with entrepreneurship. And I think though the topics are the same, it's two different things. Entrepreneurship is something totally different from what you learn in colleges. I mean, like even if it's Harvard, Kellogg, whatever. I mean, since I didn't learn there, I cannot completely say, but understanding the way, like how it goes, there they teach you how functional management happens and what kind of analysis that you should do, what is the best practices that you have to do, that kind of process and stuff like that. But in entrepreneurship, it's all about gut feelings, decision taking, the courage, the ability to foresee things. See, the ability to foresee things you cannot learn in a college, right? Because future is unknown. Like you don't have a model for that. And even if you have a model, 99% may not work. So entrepreneurship is something about a personal quality kind of thing. And management is something that is learned. And the effectiveness comes when you mix this thing together. Otherwise, you will have someone who's very, very good in marketing at a theoretical level, who knows all the game, everything, but his strategy still may not work.
Or no intuition, no
Exactly.
guts, no daring. My question is more towards the consultant side, because I don't particularly like the large consultancies. I think they just charge a fortune and they put the client through a system. They take this system and processes, put it in the equation and give it to you. That's my...
I mean, like, I would say, like, there could be bad moments and good moments. That would be the right way to say, because there are case studies where a substantial amount of value has been created by the big four and big fives. And
but there's no reason why you can't find a value, right? Or I'm not educated.
In the sense?
No, I've got zero education. I've got 35 years experience, right? I was, FTX, the company that recently went bust, the second biggest Bitcoin exchange or cryptocurrency exchange. They went down, I think, for 17 billion or 16 billion. And the consultants this year alone have charged $200 million to see if they can get their money back for the...
See, the thing is that, I don't know how far it will be true, but when an organization becomes big and big, that the touch where you actually have the passion for something actually goes on. See, think of it this way. A huge organization serving you.
Yes.
And a boutique serving you. For a boutique, you are substantial because you might be an X percentage of their whole turnover and your success really matters to them. So there would be that real element of what you call care, attention and stuff like that.
For a big organization, that could be a little nugget in the whole thing. Yes.
Exactly. So it's like it could be process driven. It could be someone doing his job. I mean,
Yes. I see a future whereby, maybe using AI as well, that these large consultancy firms cannot charge the kind of fees they charge because the information is going to be more and more accessible. And through AI, I think people aren't going to be so reliant on these big firms. They'll probably come to us more because we're more we move, we adjust, we bend. Does that make sense? Instead of just putting people through a system.
I think AI is going to disrupt this industry in a huge way.
Yes.
One of the things which in Kerala, for example, I had a big office and stuff like that. But now, since last 1 year, I would say this is Ameen Ahsan version 2. Because previously my concept of success and growth was officers, people, But now my whole idea is that if I stick to those ideologies, then I'm going to sing. Because in very near future, this thing is going to be so super that almost all information, if what you're selling is information, if what you're selling is best practices, if what you're selling is process, if what you're selling is benchmarking, the cost could be zero.
Exactly.
Because you just subscribe into like any service providers and you log in your company's information to it. It can actually tell you like where you stand in the industry, where you stand in Dubai, where you stand in UAE, where you stand in the globe.
Yes.
It can give you that benchmarking. It can give you the best practices. You tell him this is your business, your number of staff, or maybe even you input your staff capability. All what was information, process, and all those kind of things will become free.
Amazing.
So a consulting firm that is focusing its energy on these kind of things definitely
days are numbered.
Will have problems. But still, strategy will have possibilities because strategy is about future. And whatever generative AI is delivering today, it's not about the future. It's about the present or the past.
Correct.
It cannot predict the future.
Correct.
And even if it predicts, it might be.
It doesn't go by feelings and emotions and foresight. Yes, it goes by numbers and stats.
It goes by numbers and stats.
Interesting.
And human being is not a rational animal. It's a totally irrational animal. So
I guess human beings take risk, for instance, right?
Yeah.
And maybe AI won't have a certain element of risk added to it. Thank you for that. Your client base is small to medium-sized enterprises, SMEs. And why do you think is the main reason they don't make it? Because when you open up a bank account, they say 80% of your businesses go bust in the first year or two. Mm-hmm. So why do you think most people don't make it?
I think there are 100 reasons for that. But what is entrepreneurship at the end of the day? It's an experiment. Somebody's doing an experiment. Somebody's deciding that if I give A to B, there will be a sale. It's an expectation. And if anything goes wrong in that equation, it's a very complex equation. If any variable goes wrong, that business will fail. If you take the journey of an entrepreneur through the life cycle, there are different phases where the entrepreneur can fail. Some businesses fail even before they commence. Even before the first day of inauguration, that business is a failure. Because many people, they just go by their gut feeling. They think that the customers will be there for this product.
They had an idea in the shower.
Yeah.
Right? They come out thinking everybody wants the product and it doesn't sell.
It doesn't sell.
Nobody's interested.
Maybe it's a good product, but it's the wrong place.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a good product, a good place, but it's the wrong price. Maybe many things can go wrong. So without a proper study, and most entrepreneurs do not study, they have this feeling that they actually look at anomalies in our life. They look at the stories of people who had extraordinary, miraculous success.
Jump in.
And they feel that they're going to be like them. I tell my people that, don't look at anomaly stories. Don't look at these outliers. Don't look at the people who are extremely successful because their story has got a lot of miracles in it. Many things went just right. Look at the average stories because most probably you're going to be there.
Plus, Elon Musk was by the skin of his teeth, wasn't he? He got funding from the US government that saved him.
Sorry, I didn't get that.
Elon Musk.
Elon Musk, okay.
Tesla. And his SpaceX. They got funding from the Obama government at the last minute, and he saved his ass. Now he's the richest man on the planet. But like you said, lots of miracles happen last minute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because if you check the history of those people who made it extraordinarily big, you'll find that just like a movie, many things just happened.
Yeah.
Many things just fitted, Many people just said yes.
But that could be 1 in a billion, 1 in 10 million.
Exactly.
Or something. It's not for everyone.
It's not for everyone. So if we take them as role models and we follow them, there's a very high chance that our rocket may not reach there. So we have to always focus on the averages. How does the average entrepreneur goes?
Yes.
So that's one thing that these people make mistake. They have the planning wrong, and when the planning is wrong, that idea is dead from the beginning itself. The second mistake people make, or the challenges that they face, in which they fail, is that not 99% businesses, once you start, the next day it's not going to be profitable. It'll take weeks, months, sometimes even years to actually be profitable.
Yes.
It takes that time for you to really understand your customer and adjust to it, or for your real customers to identify you and come back to you in a profitable manner. And many people actually lose focus at that time.
Yes.
They start thinking like, okay, the sale this month was not good, so let's change our strategy, let's change our offering, let's make a lot of changes.
Keep jumping.
Yeah, jumping here and there. I mean, like the desperate kind of
panicking.
And that results, if you have co-founders, then you start fighting with each other because this guy will be saying something else.
Yes.
And this will be seen by the employees. Their morale goes down. And many fail that way. I think most of the businesses fail is due to that confusion phase, when you really thought something will work and it didn't work. So now what to do? That whole chaos.
How do you change? How do you maneuver? And how do you communicate it to your staff? That was a really good point.
Another thing is that most of these people, they start business without proper capital. So when each month you have a deficit, it really burns somewhere. So you really do not have cash. You may have to go for rolling and stuff and that's when the pressure and desperation increases.
Yes.
But at least if you had cash reserves, you'll at least be, having a cool head. But they won't be having it because the assumption is that they can have capital only till startup. Once the inauguration is over, they assume that the business will come. Then with that money, you pay salaries, you pay rent, everything.
Yes.
And that doesn't happen that way.
And they become desperate. They become too much pressure and they can't cope.
Keeping working capital reserve is one of the hardest things for an entrepreneur. It's like, do we need 1 year's reserve? Is that required? 2 months, 3 months? It's very difficult to convince them. Even in our consulting, when we actually tell them that you have to keep this much amount of money as a reserve for your business, that means raising that capital from someone, right?
Yes.
So they'll be like, we'll consider. But many a time that will be in their lowest priority. That amount will be in their lowest priority.
Wow.
Because there's always an assumption that it will click.
Yeah.
So that's one phase where these small and medium businesses struggle and fail. Another stage is when they start growing. Suppose they took off from the break-even point and now they're starting to make profits. That is also a phase many people fail because they do not know how to manage success. They make all wrong decisions, wrong investments.
They had a plan for the startup, but didn't have a plan for the success.
Actually, the entrepreneurship journey is like a marathon race. Not a marathon race, the relay race. You have to pass on the baton to another person with a different skill.
Absolutely.
It's the same skill guy who is actually becoming a promoter, going through the crisis period, then taking to the growth, and then taking to the plateau stage. It's all different skills and mentality.
There's not that many people who have that transferable skill. Sometimes they're the wrong people for the growth stage, right?
Yeah.
They have to maybe hire someone, maybe an operator, somebody
a new manager, a new CEO, or a new director, or just become an investor and just step out.
Wow, interesting. Do you find as a consultant that you have to do a lot of fighting sometimes for what's right? Because a lot of the times I fire the clients because I feel they're not listening. They're just and I just say, don't waste your money with me because I disagree with the route you're going down.
Well, I didn't have that need to actually have a fight with them. But many a times I do the screening in the early on stage itself. If I don't feel comfortable with the person, I don't work with them.
Yeah, because you feel it's going to be bad.
Yeah. I mean, in the last 10 years itself, we have handled with more than 100 plus entrepreneurs, 150 plus engagements, almost 20, 30 industries.
Yes.
So kind of when you talk to them, you get the feeling this guy's a time waster. Or,
the biggest one I get is when they knock every single person they've ever done business with. I'm thinking, hang on, you're the common denominator, right? Not everybody was an idiot. Not everybody was wrong. That's a big highlight one for me. How about recruitment? First, let's go back to the consultancy part. What's the general length of time somebody uses your services?
Typically, we would advise them to have it for 1 year because that is the time when change starts showing results. But usually, in practical senses, it doesn't last 1 year. Maybe after 6 months or 8 months, the
And do you
engagement.
go into the business? You have a consultant sitting there? Do you go on and off? How does it normally work
It
on
depends. It
average?
depends. Like if it's a big engagement, for
You have
example,
permanent staff.
we were consulting a big steel factory company in India. In that engagement, several of our consultants were actually almost full time there.
Right.
But then again, it's usually in the early stages that we have more involvement. Then later on, as they start implementing it, that man hours and man people gets
less.
reduced. Yeah.
What's your unique selling proposition as consultancies go?
The consulting in India, for example, is not what I'm actually offering here.
Okay.
In India, basically, our focus has been new venture consulting, which is feasibility studies, business plans, and stuff like that, and management consulting. Here, I'm basically focusing more on the leadership, the directors, the partners, because I feel that is the area where AI may not be playing a big role in the future. So, for example, one of the consulting that I provide is leadership consulting, where I actually specifically advise co-founders.
Wow.
For example, almost all co-founder businesses will be having issues after 5 years or 10 years, because the previous energy is not there. Things have changed, roles have changed, but the structure has not changed. The roles have not changed. So, that efficiency is not there as before.
Yes.
That commitment is not there as before. And some partners can start behaving like lazy or,
Yes, they
disconnected.
change.
They change.
Yeah.
And that can start creating issues
Conflict.
inside the company, which will affect the performance of the business definitely, because decisions will not come. And some partners might be having other business interests, so he's focused more on there. A lot of issues can start after 10 or 15 years.
Do those businesses contact you at that stage? Do they recognize, oh, we got a problem here? Or do you approach them?
I technically don't approach anyone. So they approach me usually. So yeah, they do come when they have issues.
And how do they find you?
Well, I'm active on my, I have a WhatsApp channels. I have around 20 WhatsApp channels. Around 2,000 entrepreneurs are there in it. But mostly from India, Kerala.
Yes, yes.
Now I'm building the database for UAE and GCC. Right now I have a client in Abu Dhabi who have got several supermarkets under them.
And I guess it's word of mouth as well, isn't it? You do well and they recommend you to other people.
Actually, that's the only way the business in this industry actually can happen at this level.
Yes.
I'm not talking about the big five, but at my level, because trust is the most important thing. It's not like you coming to me one day and saying, I just Googled you and I found you and, I want you to advise me on the important decisions that I take. That never happens. So that happens only like you might contact me, but you will never have a deal with me because we are not there yet. So what I always recommend people who contact me is that join my WhatsApp channel and get to know me. So almost every day I have a post. I post on different topics about leadership, about competitiveness,
building trust,
growth,
credibility,
and even family businesses. And one of the posts will click with you. That post will come like, this is me.
Emotionally go, I like this guy. I resonate with his message. I trust him because he seems to be an expert in his field.
Exactly.
And they're like, wow, that's amazing.
I think more than expertise, it's about trust.
Yes.
And trust, I think, is more important in this business, because unless you believe that the advice that I'll give you is from the heart, you will not trust me. You will not have the confidence, because many a times you will have to change what you're doing right now, and that's very difficult unless you really believe that the other guy is saying is true.
Because it's going against your core beliefs, right? So if you care for me unconditionally, I'll listen to you. But if you're just doing it for a fee, I'd rather speak to my core beliefs.
Exactly.
Is there going to be a bust time this year? Do you think the stock market's going to crash? What's your opinion?
To be honest, though I did my master's in finance and investment, I have stopped tracking stock markets from a long time. I personally don't believe it really adds value.
Yes.
Because I would rather focus my attention on SMEs and how they grow.
But do you think there's a stock market crash coming?
As I said,
because it just keeps going up. I would have thought after COVID it'll crash, but it didn't. But I think because there's plenty of money created in the marketplace. These governments just printed money. But I personally think December, there'll be a crash.
This crash story actually reminds me of an event during my master's. We had international portfolio management as one of the topic modules, and we had different groups, and we were competing with each other. We had some fund allocated to us, and we were using Bloomberg at that time to actually allocate portfolios
Yes.
and compete with each
Paper
other.
money, right? You were paper trading.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So most of them followed the benchmarks, and at that time, and my team, we decided let's focus on the emerging markets. China was not opened up at that time, and the IT bubble crash has not happened, but everybody was saying it will happen. So we betted on the fact that China will grow, China will open up, and the bubble crash will happen soon.
Was this in the 90s?
It was in 2000.
2000, okay.
2000, 2001.
Yeah, because about 2001, the IT crash came, right?
So what happened was that we put all our money in developing markets, and we went away from the traditional IT and all those kind of things. And it was, I think, a 6 months period competition. And at the end of the session, ours was the only fund that made humongous profit, because Chinese stocks rocketed like anything.
Yes, and the IT companies went down.
And every other group was competing in minus.
Wow, you were positive.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about what's your feeling about UAE and the Dubai market? A lot of people are still coming. There's a bubble happening. The price of properties are going up. What's your opinion about Dubai, UAE?
I think I see that in a different angle.
Yes.
If you think of Dubai or UAE as a place to actually do business, I think that'll be tough, because the competition is very high, because Dubai is an open market. Anybody can come and open up. So the entry barrier is almost nil.
Yes.
But the idea of Dubai, I believe, is not that you come to Dubai and do business in Dubai. It's about you come to Dubai, bring your head office, bring your core team, establish here, bring your family, make them have a safe place to live and a safe place for your head office and your corporate offices to be, and do business across the world.
That's interesting.
Make Dubai your head office here.
Your home.
Your home. The home of your office.
Because the infrastructure is fantastic.
Everything is fantastic.
Life is fantastic. Yeah.
If you look around, the whole world is having
taxes.
Problems. Taxes, everything. Safety, security, peace, entertainment, facilities, education, everything. Best of the best. Right. So I think that is what Dubai is trying to project. I mean, like, come to Dubai, establish your business, establish head office, no matter you're a small player or you're a multi-billion unicorn company, whatever, be here and do business across the world, because we have events here, we have airports here, we have connectivity.
The best airline in the world is here.
Everything. And if you look at it, Europe, America, Africa, Asia, everywhere there is problems.
They're struggling.
Everybody has their own internal or external issues.
Yeah, they're all struggling.
And this place is peaceful.
So do you think that it's just going to keep growing? The prices are going to keep going up. There's going to be more demand for the near future.
I think when it comes to booms and busts, that's a cycle of life. It happens. Yes. I mean, it has to happen. That's a natural phenomenon of life, you know. I mean, you cannot have an economy where everything keeps on going up. I mean, that's irrational. But the question is, what is the averages? Ultimately, when you take a 10-year period, did the line actually go as a straight line?
Correct.
That's the only thing that counts.
You are going to have the hiccups. But
actually, the hiccups are important for opportunities to come up for new players. If the only thing that happens in the market is boom, you will have all bad practices here.
And everybody will be making money for doing that.
Yeah, you do whatever you do, you're making money. So you'll have all those bad cultures coming in. When the bus comes, then there's a chance for new players to come up, new strategies to come up for reflection.
It filters the crap out of the system. What about one of the things that I'm not going to feed the answer, I'm going to ask you the question. When there's a bust, when there's a problem, when there's a downturn, people fire certain type of people and they keep or hire certain type of people. Okay? What hurts me, because I'm primarily sales, right? The first people they fire is salespeople. And they hire more accountants.
Okay,
that's my feeling. I actually think at downtimes we should hire more salespeople, because we need more business coming in. We don't need more people, bookkeepers, and make sure we cut costs. We should be selling more. What's your opinion?
Well, it's a very complicated question, because it very much depends on the scenario that we're talking about. For example, If it's a company that's actually booking losses now and they simply want to reduce their overheads and they don't have a real plan for it,
Yes.
they might just actually, cut people or do many things. Apart
Yes.
from even, it's not just limited to cutting people.
Yes.
It could be anything. It could
Yes.
be shutting down shops, whatever. But if it's based on a strategy, like they have a strategy, they had what you call an evaluation of what went wrong, and they decide that what we are selling is not what we should be selling, then it could be a structural cutting. They will be shedding off people whom actually is not going to serve the business in the long run. So that is a strategic move, and I don't think that is limited to salespeople.
Yeah.
It could go across the line. The thing about accountants is that whatever happens, they are in the center. Anyway, you have
They
to do
need to keep the books. Yeah.
But then again, accountants are no longer safe. Like I envision a world without accountants in the future, because why do you need an accountant in the future when all your transactions are having a first entry into your system?
Yes.
And the AI, whatever, it actually
We'll
gives
take
you
care of it.
everything.
I actually think any business that you have to go to is going to go bust.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. The lawyers, the accountants, the doctors, because everything's changing now. You can have everything at the touch of a button. You're in your doorstep.
I think every business that has a process is going to get
In trouble.
The business is not getting in trouble. The people involved are going to get in trouble.
Yeah. Incredible.
Including doctors, everything.
Do you have personal investments yourself, or do you just buy businesses or anything like this?
No, we just actually invest in our business itself. That's it.
Fantastic. Have you ever come across a client that you thought, I like to invest in this? And have you?
Not yet.
Uh-huh.
Actually, that was one of the reasons why I moved out of Kerala as well. Because there came a point when I found that life was too comfortable. And comfort zone is a very dangerous place to be.
Yes.
Because I built my house. Alhamdulillah, it was a good one. And even had my office, an office space there. And post-COVID, everything became remote and online. So
Yes.
it came a point where post-COVID, there was no need for me to even go to the office. I was always at the home. And at one point I thought, this is very dangerous. And that's one part of
Because
it.
you're still young. You need to grow, right? You need to still push yourself, challenge yourself.
Exactly. And the second thing was that the state where I'm coming from, Kerala, it's a very different state of affairs there. Great things to happen takes a lot of issues, politics and stuff like that. So
I've been. I loved it.
It's a beautiful place.
As a tourist.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place. But when it comes to business, economics and stuff like that, it's a different story. So many of my big projects that I was really looking forward to, did not materialize because of the bureaucracy and
time it took.
many stuff like that. Even after several years. So I thought, I'm wasting time here. I mean, if I go to Dubai right now, Dubai is booming. It's in this version 3 maybe. And Saudi is in this version 2. A lot of things are happening here.
Yes.
And this is the time I have to be there, So that's one of the reasons for my presence here. And what you just said is my future plan, actually. In the coming years, my plan is to move from fee-based consulting to equity-based consulting, so that at the end of the day, maybe after 10, 15 years...
You benefit from the six. That's what we're doing right now. We invest a monetary, and there's other things, services, but around 100,000 euros a month on average. We invest in companies. See how that goes.
That's a great strategy.
Yeah.
My idea is that by 10, 15 years, if I'm able to have one business every year where I actually convert my expertise into an equity, even if it's a small percentage,
yes,
by the end of 10, 15 years, I could open my own small single family office, an SFO, which could be an investment company by itself.
Yeah, that's where we are now. And I'm blessed to think that sales helped me do that. Because I was constantly selling, helping people make more money. And that's how fast our family office has grown, our assets have grown. I love sales. I just love sales. So where do you see yourself in 5 years down the line?
5 years down the line, I would say it will be 10 years down the line.
Okay.
10 years down the line, that's what I see myself as, having a single family office of my own with some 10, 15 or 20 companies in its portfolio. And
And how do you rate success? What is success to you?
Success to me is like adding value to things around you. Like there is no point in you having a lot of money and it doesn't serve any purpose. Um, Ultimately, it's all about how you use your money for the benefit of people.
Do you have a plan for your money? Do you know what you have? Everything's planned out.
Actually, the plan that I have is something that is actually taught in a religion itself. There is a structure like if you invest, if you have 100 dirhams, whatever, and you consume 1/3 of it, and you invest 1/3 of it, and you donate 1/3 of it, and that is the kind of I'm not there yet, but that is the kind of financial efficiency that I would like to reach. Because when that happens, that 1/3 which you donate need not be a donation that you just give. It could be a social venture that you're investing in, which keeps on growing by itself, and you getting the benefits for that.
Yes.
You know?
That's
So,
beautiful.
yeah, that's the kind of thing that I aspire to reach.
I honor you, my friend.
Thank you.
I honor you. Have I missed anything?
In the sense,
Have I missed in the questions that you're expecting me to ask?
no, I think yeah, we are going in the right direction. Yeah.
We've been 40 odd minutes. Can you believe it? It's just gone quick. If people want to contact you, they want to reach out to you, how can they do that?
Well, they have my website, ameenahsan.com.
Okay, and what we will do is we'll put a text under the video,
Okay.
promote yourself. And what's the process? So they contact you and say, I mean, we have some challenges. I'm looking at setting up a company. And then what happens next?
What I do is that they come to my website. There is the link to actually book an appointment with me, which is a paid appointment. And in that 2-hour session, we'll discuss whatever they have to discuss. Because sometimes in that discussion itself, they
You can resolve things.
It could resolve whatever they have, or it could be something that might be beyond my capacity. Because one thing which I don't want to do is take up things that I cannot add value to. The third situation is that like it could be an issue where they don't need structured consulting from me. They just need periodic advices from me. So they can book my sessions whenever they feel like it. And because that is a service that might be useful for people who have problem making decisions, especially when there are more than one person and everybody has their own
They're
views.
stuck.
They need a third person to come and say, okay guys, this is what I feel from what I have heard.
That's interesting.
And that could be because decision is the only thing an entrepreneur should do in his life. Everything else employees should do. The one thing that an entrepreneur does from the morning to the night is taking small and big decisions. So if those decisions go wrong, that's the difference between a successful
That's
company.
beautiful. So one advice could be if you've got a business and you are constantly doing, you're not doing what you should be doing. You should be making decisions. You should delegate the doings.
I actually say entrepreneurs are of 4 mentality. The one is employee mentality. The guy is a boss, he's an entrepreneur, whatever, but he thinks like an employee.
Yes.
He has this feeling that he has to do all these small kind of things, you know. So he's the one who opens the shop in the morning. He's the one who closes the shop.
Anyone. He has to do it himself.
Yeah, he's the one who sits in the cashier. And this mentality can be even a big company. Because sometimes companies grow big, not because of the efficiency of the owner, but because of many luck factors.
Yes.
That's there. The second mentality is that of the manager mind of mentality. Like you are the owner, but you want to micromanage everything. You want to know what this guy is doing, where he's been, what time he woke up. That kind of man. He's in control, but he's in over control. The third item is the leadership mentality. These guys, they don't like to micromanage. They just like to give directions. And based on those directions, inspiration, stuff like that, business happens. I mean, this is an ideal stage. But more than that, the bigger most entrepreneurs whom we consider as role models are at that stage. But the one which I like is the one on top of that, which is the ownership mentality. The guy who does not even want to lead something, but invest in good companies, invest in good leaderships, so that he can always be above the cloud, like an eagle, you know. So when the industry goes, he's in that industry. When the industry is
I like that because I'm stuck on number 3.
Most of the entrepreneurs are stuck in number 3. Actually, the number 4 is where the real game is. That is where your family becomes truly independent.
Here we get true wealth.
True wealth. The other options, when the founder, something happens to him, the family is in trouble.
Yeah.
In the other option, his son or daughter can go and learn music or art, whatever. It doesn't affect the business at all. because the only education that they need is how to take the right decisions, which is in terms of investments. Like this industry is going up.
Yeah.
You don't want the CEOs of your company to come and tell you bullshit and you are allocating
You
some
believe
budget
it,
or something
yes.
like that. That's the only education they need. Then they're free. They can live the life they want. They are not forced to join the family business.
I like that.
This is the area that I would like to take my clients and myself be there as well.
Yes. Can I ask you how much you charge for that 2-hour session?
It's just a starting rate of 2,500.
Fantastic. It's been an absolute pleasure, my friend.
Thank you.
Thank you. I wish you all the best of success in the near future, in your long-term future, and please keep in touch. I think we can pass each other lots of business.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And one thing which I would like to say about the podcast which you do is that it's really amazing. I mean, I like the kind of questions that you ask. It's very customized and it actually brings out. I usually don't watch too much of videos, but I think I watched many of your videos almost full, that 45 minutes
Thank
and all.
you. Thank you. No, I'm actually honored, and there's not many people I can talk just business with, and I love it. The only thing is that light was really bothering me. Right, I need to change that because I was squinting most of the time. But thank you so much for keeping me awake, because that light was killing me. I need to change it, I think. But thank you. It's been an honor.
Thank you, Darius.
I salute you, Gladiator.
Thank you. I salute
Thank
you
you
too.
so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you next time, Gladiators. Thank you again for your time.